sprint, some sort of small project where you're building chemistry just by getting started. So for example, let's say you're a fitness trainer and you meet a rich person who says that they want to lose some weight. You might say, let's just go for a run together. Let's just get out there and do something together. Let me take you to the gym and let's go and do a workout together. Now what you're doing is you're saying, let's just build some chemistry, let's build some proof, let's see if we work well together. You're not going to put any barriers in the way. You're not going to say, let's have a contract, let's pay some money just yet. We're going to park all of that to the side and just start doing something together. The key here is start the ball rolling with as minimal amount of friction as possible to create some proof. Now, once you've created proof, I want you to be the one to suggest a review process. I want you to figure out how to present your data, your research, or your insights in a written format. Now, what I want you to do is figure out how to put it on a spreadsheet, how to put it on a slide deck, and I want you to print it out and give it to the rich person. I want you to say, here's what we discovered, here's what we found, here's what we did, here's what we should do next. But the key here is it's got to be written and printed. I want you to have a printed out document. The big mistake that many of you make is thinking that people have amazing memories or that they have a lot of headspace. A rich person does not have a lot of headspace. It needs to be printed out, it needs to be visual. Did you know that 50% of the human brain is dedicated to visual processing? If you don't make it visual, there's 50% chance people won't take it in. The other reason you've got to make it visual is rich people make decisions with other people in mind. A rich person has an executive assistant who needs to see what's going on. A rich person might have a financial advisor. A rich person might have another key decision maker, maybe a spouse who gets involved.
In those videos with the Hotspot Kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm watching the food, like a video of the food, but then I'm doing the voiceover and I'm talking.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk about anything.
Anything. So you want to go for the least amount of editing that you have to do. So basically, I would recommend having remember how I said have the camera set up in front of you, so it has a good view of the food. Either work right next to it or work behind it and around it. So they're focused on the visual of the food, so they have something visually to focus on, but at the same time, they're going to be listening to everything that you're saying.
But what I'm saying is, for example, I could just have a video just on the cat like this, and all I would start the video off with is, and talk about something randomly different.
The best way to do it is to at least slightly connect whatever you're saying to the visual.
For example, obviously, I mean, in some cases, yeah, obviously. But then in some cases, it could work if it just, wait, what you're saying and what you're talking about, got no idea but the video.
If you make it relevant to the point where you just do story talkovers or
That's
lessons
Yeah.
over the video of you cooking.
Yep. I feel like that's gonna be the best part. It's not necessarily a video of me cooking. It's videos of what I have cooked. And now I don't necessarily have to sell food. I could just cook food and record it, and then just talk about what I want to talk about over. Because what I would do is I would put this in the phone.
The only reason why I say videos of you cooking is so it's a longer formatted video.
No, those have their place, but what I'm saying is for engagement purposes. Content that people engage with, people like, comment, they share, they talk about it. It's about, what I'm realizing, it's not necessarily about one-on-one me talking to the camera. It's like now we're talking, people are just going to tune into this conversation and put their input on it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, it's literally positioning. People are literally going to tune in. It's like framing the conversation in a way so when people join in, they're joining something that's already moving already. They don't have to spend time trying to process what's happening.
Yeah.
They already know in the first couple lines, they know what's happening, where they're at, where they're going, what the conversation is about, the flow. Now this, because I've never made content like this, so here's your marker.
And their decisions. You need to give them something that they can then share with those other decision makers to make making that decision a complete no-brainer. Put the thought in and create something visual that can be that review process that they can share. Okay, if you do this correctly, they are going to say, let's propose a deal. And what you might do is say, I'd love to work with you. What do you think the deal should look like? Now here's the cool thing. rich people are really good at constructing deals, and it's very, very cool to let them suggest the deal. You can even say, I've got an idea as to what a deal might look like, but I'd love to know, if we work together, what do you want that to look like? Or have you got an idea as to how it would look like? Is there a preferred way you would want to work with someone like myself? The reason this works so well is half the time they're going to suggest something that is way bigger than you had in mind. And the other half of the time they're going to suggest something smaller, but if that's what they're comfortable with at this phase, that's where you need to go next. And if you're lucky, they're going to explain a big deal. They're going to say, hey, let's work on this, let's work on these parameters. You might even ask them the question, what's the price point? What's the budget that you feel comfortable with? You might say, if I was to work with someone like yourself, we would typically budget around X or Y. Is that the typical scenario that would work with you? The power of putting it into their court is that they have a lot more experience in their world than you do, obviously, and they're going to have price points that they have in mind. They're going to have budgets that they typically work with. They're going to have performance targets that they might typically feel comfortable with. And if you put the ball in their court, it's often the case that the deal that they suggest is way better than the deal that you would come up with. You should always have a fallback position. You should always have a deal that you've put thought into that you can suggest on the spot. So if they say, I'm not sure, how do you think it should look? You say, well, here's what I'm thinking, right? You can present that. And once again, present it in a written document that is printed out, that is ready to share. Now, here's the little secret. The one thing that rich people like to do is constantly test to see if you're trustworthy and whether you deliver results. So you've done something for free and that created proof, excellent. Now you're going to do something, let's call it 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, and that's going to deliver even more proof. Once again, you're going to do a review process. Here is the absolutely most powerful tactical thing that you can do at this point. Once you've delivered the second great result that you got paid for, this is where you can say, the truth is that I'm getting busy, I'm oversubscribed, my focus is getting split between other projects. You can actually name a constraint, and at this point you can say, I'm not sure, do you think I should double down working with you, or do you think it's time that we part ways? So the powerful technique here is that after you've delivered two powerful proof projects, you can say, I'm getting busy, I've got other things going on, do you think it's time that we double down and work on some bigger things together, or do you think it's time that we call it a day and part ways on really good terms? Now most rich people will say, what are you talking about, part ways? I want to do way bigger stuff with you. I really want to expand what we can do. So you can now suggest, here's some big projects that we could work together. During the process of doing a few things together, you've already started to understand this person's world better. You understand where they travel, where their interests are, and this is where you can suggest some big deals. This is where you could say, what I'd love to do is I'd love to do some bigger deals with you. The reason I've been working closely with you up until this point is to build trust with you so that we can do some bigger deals together. Do you have anything in mind? Right? And this is where you're going to try and open up to the really big deals. Because the truth is that the big deals is where you make big money with a rich person. The small deals are just building proof and trust. So the purpose of getting to this point was to get to the big deal. Now here's another interesting thing. Rich people love to make recommendations to other rich people. And at this point, you may say, do you know of any big deals that are going on in your network that I should be pitching for, or that I should be putting myself forward for? Now that's a powerful question, because at this particular moment, your current person that you're working with may not have a big deal, but they might know 3 or 4 people who do have a big deal. And that's really powerful as well. The big deal that you get access to may not be the same person. It might be someone that they can introduce you to. But the key insight here is that we're going through a process of land and expand through the process of creating proof and then reviewing it in a written document, creating more proof, reviewing it in a written document, and then suggesting that big deal. Okay, so we've covered 3 things here, and those 3 things are how you work with rich people. I hope you found that really, really interesting. I don't want you to click onto the next piece of content. I want you to think about, how are you going to improve your pitch? How are you going to improve the context of how you show up in the world? And how are you going to build a journey where you land and expand so that you can work on bigger and bigger deals? There is so much money out there. The world is just full of money. There's more money on the planet than ever before. It's just in the hands of a small group of people, and you need to know how to sell to those people. So make it a goal in the year ahead that you're going to start selling to people who've got more money to spend. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, like, subscribe, and share with someone who you think would benefit from this content. I look forward to seeing you next time, and I hope your business is doing well.
This settlement check completely changed my life, and it came.
How did you take that? What were you thinking of that entire time? Were you thinking of what ways you would implement that? Because I was thinking of your catering. If you're catering, for me, what I'm doing, what wealthier people I could give personal referrals to for my own stuff to get them to buy from me. I'm talking about the life insurance. So I could implement that in the life insurance. You could implement everything that he said with the catering. Because if you start with, you get in a catering order with a, let's say a personal catering order, like a birthday or a little gathering or a holiday with someone who has connections to a bigger company. Then if that person personally trusts you and likes your offering and your values, then at that point they could refer you to their corporation for your catering for their events. And at that point, they're helping you scale. You already have an input of trust, which is a true person, and a referral, a personal referral. Now, if you're lucky, you get in a personal catering order with one of the top people that take care of the catering for the meetings of the companies. Now, when I was going to work with the school, they do catering every Friday for their meetings. Every Friday for their meetings. And there's 3 people that take care of the catering. One takes care of the budget, one takes care of the ordering, one takes care of the menu. Basically, when I say menu, I mean like figuring out if there's any allergies, anything like that that they should avoid. Now, if you get in with, for instance, let's continue talking about the school. If you got in personally for a catering or for a personal event with them, then not only do you have a referral, but they are in charge of the catering. So personally, they could choose you, sit down, figure out, of course, get the other 2 people in on it, figure out what the budget would be for the catering, schedule the cater, see if there's any allergies, and if they would need any different options.
I'm in a place where I want to create digital scalable offers where I can use AI to scale.
Like?
And then just run in the systems. For example, books. Books are one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good asset. But it's still physical copies. Now, like ebooks are really, really good. And I'm realizing there's literally a limited market out there for digital.
See, I know a lot of people who have books and big readers like the physical books. They like to have their own personal library. They like to see the physical collection start to build up.
That got its own place. Ebooks are like a book is supposed to take you on a journey to kind of like an ebook is a specific solution to a specific problem. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like it's a blueprint to unlock. Now without that knowledge on you understood, you can't unlock. That's why I had to grow into to unlock to become the person that fully understands how to convert attention to income. listen, you have to speak on like whatever it is that you want. You have to literally speak it until you embody it.
Not even just speak it, you have to implement it until it becomes
Till
normalized.
It becomes normal to where
Yeah.
when you say it, your nervous system will check it. So it's like, make sure y'all go to the description. Really go check out that book, because that ebook, it'll definitely help you understand and see. And even if you don't fully master it yet, at least you have the information in your mind. And eventually the information organizes itself.
Mhm.
You get clarity. And that's what I'm realizing now. Because I made the ebook and I was like, I don't want to put out something that don't work. So I kind of was like hesitant to promote it. So that's why I haven't really talked about it or come talk about it. But now, having the perspective that I have right now, I realize actually it's something that is going to help people holding it back. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's doubting myself and feeling like I'm not good enough to sell, or to like, it's not doing anything for people, especially if it's a solution. Yeah, so make sure you gotta go check it out. But apart from that, it's all about just getting as much attention as possible and then just send them to the hotspot. Like I said, I want to simplify everything and make the hotspot, that Stan Store, shout out to Stan Store, and make it a place on the internet that have something to do with my face. So I might become a partner in Stan Store, you never know.
That's when you're like, sponsor me, Stan Store.
Yeah, hey, Stan Store, pay attention. You never know, I might become a partner for real. So it's like, eventually you build so much and you bring them so much business and traffic. Yeah, I might actually put an affiliate link down in the description. Hey, okay, stop. Make sure, hey, make sure y'all go sign up for Stan Store. Hey, you get your 2-week free trial, and I get a percentage. So make sure y'all go sign up for Stan Store and start selling y'all digital products, man. For real, ebooks, digital assets. If you see a problem and you create a solution, you make a digital product. You can go to Canva. You use ChatGPT. Have it help you structure everything, like whatever it is, as long as it solves a specific problem and it's unique. It's unique. You're not like regurgitating what someone else has said. Now you can use principles. Now the ebook is called Attention: How to Convert Attention to Income. Now you can have the attention, but it's a science of how to convert it to income. It really is a science, and it's not as you think. You might think you could have a business that's fully functional, people can just go there and buy it. But what I'm realizing is that invisible currency called trust, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
That invincible integrity, it's invisible, but it's there, and you have to keep that. So
Especially with how broad scams have become. So trust is a very big thing that you have to earn before anyone gives you money.
even the universe, the world, God, you have to like trust. So it's like, and then but doubting what's holding me back is not necessarily trust. It's distrust in something else, but it's more like self-doubt that was holding me back. Like,
Yeah, that's a dream
I
killer.
wasn't believing my growth, so I was holding on to past versions of myself in a sense, like self-sabotage a little bit just so I could enjoy the pain a little bit longer. But why would I keep doing that to myself?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get addicted to the pain and want to sit in it, and I don't want to sit in that pain anymore. I want to actually finish, heal up, and then move forward.
Mhm.
So it's like, well, yeah, this video, I'll implement this video. So I'm not at the level that he's speaking in the sense of business wise, but in the sense, I'm already around rich people. Like,
What makes you
I
think
just-
you're not at the
I'm
aspect
different.
business-wise?
now, that's a good question. When it comes to like his level of understanding and perspective, you can tell he have experience
Mm-hmm.
and he's been speaking the language for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been speaking the language for a long time. Now, have I been around rich people? Yes. Have I been aware? No. So because I haven't been aware of it, you can't get what you're aware of.
So the best thing to do for that is to treat and speak to people, no matter if you know them or not. Speak to everyone as if they're rich. Treat everyone as if they're rich. One thing that he focused on, I would say quite a lot, is rich people like a very thought out and very flow state hook. So like your pitch, if you can memorize your pitch and then kind of adjust like the tone and the flow
And the cadence to show confidence in like
yeah,
preparation.
yeah. Once you know your pitch and your pitch is solid, solidified, and memorized, then it's like he said, when you ask someone if you can pitch to them because you know they get pitched to a lot, it makes a connection, it makes them smile, it makes them feel important, and then at that point they're really gonna listen to your pitch and they're really gonna take it into account. So a pitch is a very big thing. You want it to be solid, you want it to be smooth, you want it to be very flowy, and you want it to be appealing to the ears.
Yeah, yo, I'm being yo. This is so trans. Another one.
And then another thing that he said is if you're going to have a deal, have it printed out, have your values and what you're bringing to the table printed out, and a lot of rich people like more statistics, so they like the number game. So you should definitely have it printed out, have a hard copy, have several on hand. So which is why I suggest like having like a little briefcase or something like that. Not only does it like make you look more professional, but having the actual documents to take out and hand to someone, it's very elegant. Makes you look very sophisticated and put together as a business owner.
Now, how does the hotspot kitchen do I want to put together as a business owner when it comes to
Now,
like the branding?
if you were to have, it's not so much about the branding, like I said, it's more about your offer. So if you were to get your menu visualized, written down, and printed out copy, and a little bit broader, or like different like, I wouldn't say meals, but options of like the entrees and sides, or like a selective desserts or drinks or anything that can be specialized to you. If you get your menu organized, written down, printed out into hard copies, and make it visually appealing and pretty, then at that point, being able to sit down with a rich person and be like, hey, you know, I heard you have this event going on, have you thought about catering? Oh yeah, you know, I just don't have anyone that I trust, there's nothing that sounds good, there's nothing that has broad enough menu, or, you know, the menus are too big, we only want a few options, like 1 or 2 options for them to choose from. Great, all right, let's sit down. You guys sit down. All right, pop that pretty little briefcase open. Here's a menu, here's a value. Now, good thing about us is we go based off of your budget. So of course you would still have a contract written down
you spin,
and
slow
hard
down.
copy.
Slow down. You spin it right now. Yo, make sure y'all take notes. Continue.
So you would have your values, your visual menu, and then you, of course, you would still have a contract written down and printed out, but it would have to be set up in a specific way where there's still stuff to fill out. So there'd be a section where it's like client's budget, and you would write that in, and you would have to estimate exactly how you would do that. Would you do a deposit? Would you not do a deposit? How would that go? And then you yourself have to calculate, okay, preparation, cook time, delivery. Are they gonna deliver? Am I gonna deliver? Am I gonna pick up? If there is delivery, are we doing a delivery fee? If they want a tip, how would they tip? Are we doing payment beforehand? Like I said, so you'd have the deposit, or is it cash? Like, stuff like that are things that you would have to take into mind, because you also have to remember when it comes to money and stuff like that, there are process fees. So if you take a deposit, there's a process fee. If you take 2 payments, there's a process fee. If it's a lump sum, there is not as much of a process fee in the end, because it's only one process fee, but those are things that you have to think about. you know how if it's going to be in person, some people have like the little card swiper chip you plug into the phone? Would you do that? Would you like what app or application or what would you use to get the money, to take the money, accept the money? Are you going to be using Cash App and Zelle and Venmo, or are you going to use more monetized commercial like apps? So those are all things that you have to think about. But when it comes to your offer and your pitch, you definitely want to have your statistics written down, your referrals and stuff like that printed out, very simple, stapled together. You want to have a visual menu that they can take with them so they can actually show other people, look at it, even if you want to be a little fancier and get it laminated, stuff like that. And then you want to have copies of that. But of course you need everything to carry it in. You want to have a briefcase that
Okay, you lost me, man. Alright, you start lost me. So let's bring it back. What you're explaining to me, because of what you're saying and everything you're saying, I can only do one of them a month. No, I'm serious. My time is so important to me right now. I'd rather be sitting here doing this. Now, in order, let me finish.
Go ahead.
What you just said to me, I have to find, remember we're trying to find rich people to sell to.
Mm.
We're not trying to find, we're finding rich people to sell to. So if you're rich and you got money and you like eating good Jamaican food, reach out to me on Instagram at StarVibes247. It's that simple. Now, if you want to know what I cook, go to the Hotspot Kitchen 24/7 on Instagram. Check out the stuff. I'll have updates, stuff posted on there throughout the week, the months, the years, whenever you're seeing this. Maybe 10 years from now, I'm gonna continue. But the point is, you just got me going, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta cook. Like, I gotta cook. We're trying to find we're finding rich people to sell to. So it gotta be higher ticket, higher price if I'm going to be doing that. Now, the community that I'm in, shout out to Apizaste. It's not necessarily a rich community, but think about it.
Stop thinking about community as a community. Start thinking about organizations within the community that you can cater to. So if they have senior halls, if they have officers that get together and they have like every so often, usually it's like annually or monthly, they have like even for holidays, places, organizations will buy catering for their employees to show appreciation.
And because I'm doing just one a month, I can charge a fair,
Exactly.
great price because
So
it's scarce.
at the same time, what makes me laugh is that you said you can only do one part of those, of the things that I said.
No, I want to. Okay, so
But-
let me finish. This is what I wanted to finish. I want to get it. Everything you're saying, I want to do that, and I want to do it so good. That's why I want to do one client a month. So yes, as you guys are listening right now, one client a month. That means it cannot be less than $20,000 at all. Like, so if you want me to cook or cater for you, the starting is going to be $20,000. That's the floor, because everything and the responsibilities in my life and every single thing that it takes to get to where I'm at and to build, that's my standard.
Now,
So,
how many would
yeah.
that feed?
Now, the minimum is $20,000. Now, how much would that feed? Minimum 20 people. So 20,000, 20 people. Now, that is, it doesn't even matter. It's about every time I cook.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like the standard for when I cook, 20,000. Now, if I'm cooking, I'm doing these stuff on Mondays where I do $75 platters. Eventually, we stop because it's not worth the time.
Yeah.
The prep time that's going into it, and then it's not really worth it. The time is more valuable. So, with me making, for example, recording this, they gotta pay the price, or they don't get the food. It's that simple. I rather watch. I rather you know what I'm saying. Like it's either you pay for it, or you don't pay and you go somewhere else. Like it's really that. It's really business is really that simple.
Business is business.
It's literally like this is it. Go to Gucci or go to Ferrari or go to Lamborghini and tell them, but you can't tell them. So don't come to the hotspot kitchen trying to get. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying, though?
I do.
I'm tired of playing small. They're trying to like feel like I'm not good enough to ask for what I know I'm worth. So if you ain't got $20,000,
You shouldn't ask for what you know you're worth. That should just be the standard, the minimum standard.
you just heard what I said. $20,000 standard. So if you're someone that's looking for a private chef or someone to come to your house and cook for you or a cater, doesn't matter. $20,000. Or then I'll just be cooking and posting clips on my online. You know what I'm saying? Like just doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or just talk, just film the content of me cooking the food and then just talk about random stuff over the content.
Just get paid the same.
Which is literally, I'm gonna get paid the same. So either way, probably get more than that, because then I won't have to take time out of my day, and I'm still getting money. Now to cook and to prep and to do all of that, it's gonna take a lot more time than if I do it the other way around. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, you guys getting a deal. Anyways, I'm cutting this off because we gotta.
Do what we gotta do,
I'm
yeah.
hungry. I'm hungry.
All right, go chef it out. Go chef it out.
Somewhere else to get food, but hey, peace. You wanna tell people, introduce yourself?
You can introduce
Here,
me.
this is my friend, M Dog. What we gonna call it? Little money boo.
Oh
No.
God.
No. What Instagram at right
No, we're not gonna do Instagram.
now? Wait a minute.
Stop.
Yo.
One thing I will say, you want some good Rasta pasta? These little Caribbean, Jamaican stores they got around here, they don't know what Rasta pasta is.
Mhm.
Nothing beats his Rasta pasta. You want good Rasta pasta? Get his Rasta pasta. Number one.
Jesus.
It's the creamiest. It's the most.
Or Instagram.
No.
LIL_lamb 24/7. Lil Lamb 20. So what's the inspiration behind that name?
What happened to cut? We cut out the video. You.
Hey.
You think you're so funny? You comedian. What happened to me? I'm hungry and cut the video.